I actually didn't think of which books I would pick for which questions. One eternity later. It's still not open. This looks so incredibly weird. I can't speak and do eyeliner at the same time. Hello lovely bookworms, I'm Esmay from Paradise of Pages on Instagram and also on Twitter, and welcome to a new video. You've already seen from the title that today we are doing my makeup, hence the very barefaced look and also the reindeer ears, pulling my hair back. I just took a shower, by the way, so if you're wondering why my hair looks, well, like this, it's wet. It's still a little bit wet. It'll probably dry while we're doing my makeup, but that is okay. So today we're doing my makeup and we're also talking about books, and I'm talking about books of 2020. So I actually did the makeup and books tag 2 years ago, last year, a while ago, but I actually wanted to do it another time, but this time I've come up with my own questions. I do have to say that I haven't checked the original questions, so I hope that I am not overlapping here, and I think I have said enough. Let's just start with my makeup look. I am wearing a dress, as you can see. I'm not sure yet if this is going to be my Christmas outfit, by the way. I haven't decided yet, but I wanted to put on something festive. I am going to attempt, at least, to make up a look that I would definitely wear with Christmas if I were wearing this. So that's what we're doing today, and let's just get into it. Also, if you're missing a couple of steps, I'm pretty sure I don't do every single step there is sort of in the book, but I'm just gonna do it my way. I also do my steps randomly, so don't feel inclined to do this sort of in the order that I do it. I mean, everybody does their makeup differently. I'm starting with concealer, and for this question, I thought, considering it actually covers up your dark circles, I thought I would talk about a book that kept me up all night. I, by the way, want to say that I don't want to repeat books, or at least I'm going to attempt not to. I also hope that all of the books that I mentioned are ones that I've read this year, but I tend to mix things up, so please don't blame me. Also, if I'm looking over there, that's because my camera, no, not my camera, my mirror is over there, so please forgive me for that. And yeah, for concealer, like I said, the question is, mention a book that kept you up all night. And one of the books that I remember that kept me up all night was Amber and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. That basically follows a girl named Amber who was born as a dragon, and then her father, who is a magician, or her adoptive father rather actually changes her into a girl to protect her. And that one actually kept me up all night. I think I read it in one sitting and I just couldn't stop, and it was probably 3 AM at the point that I was finished. And I absolutely loved it. It was such a good book, and I can definitely recommend it. It's one of the best middle grades I've ever read, and I really want to reread it, and I definitely hope that there will be more in this series somewhere along the line. So next up is a foundation. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to speed up parts here because I tend to take quite a while to do my makeup. But for foundation, I thought I would pick a book that never lets you down. And the reason for this is that concealer never lets you down. Do you have any blemishes? It won't let you down. Do you have anything else on your face that you need to hide? Not letting you down. So for this one, I wanted to pick a book that didn't let me down. I actually didn't think of which books I would pick for which questions, by the way, if you're wondering. For this one, I think I'm gonna go for a reread, and my all-time favorite reread, that is, and that's The Wrath and the Dawn. The Wrath and the Dawn is a reimagining, or basically, what was the word? Anyway, it is based on Arabian Nights and retelling. Couldn't get to it. It's a retelling of Arabian Nights, or 1001 Nights, and it basically follows Shazi, or Shahrazad, that's her official name, who wants revenge for the death of her best friend, Shiva. And because of that, she volunteers to become the king's bride, and basically the king kills his brides, well, every single one of his brides, and Shazi is hell-bent on getting revenge for her friend, and that's basically what the book is about. I have reread it multiple times, and it never let me down, and I don't think it ever will, and I just love that book. I reread it this year, so it is a 2020 book, it's just not a recent or new 2020 book, if that makes sense. my base is on, and let's move on to eyebrows. I actually use a palette for that, and then this shade, which is a dark brown. But for brows, I actually have an interesting question, because every single time people mention brows, they say, well, not every single time, but a lot of the times people say they're sisters, not twins. And I thought, because of that, we could talk about a book with strong family ties. And I again haven't thought of this at all, but thinking of it, I think a book that I really liked with strong family ties was Warrior of the Wild, in which our main protagonist, I think, has multiple sisters that love her very, very much. The weird thing is, though, that only her sisters really love her, but her mother, at least in the beginning, doesn't. I thought this was such a sort of good book, and especially because of the fact that our main protagonist definitely does things to please her family and also her father. I just loved the book immensely, and it's just a good book with strong family ties. This looks so incredibly weird because my eyebrows are now so incredibly dark, but I promise you by the time I'm done with my eyes, it'll look okay. But for now, we look like weird. Well, we look weird, but it's fine, guys. It's fine. Trust me. So let's move on to eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is something that I wear almost every single day of my life. I am obsessed with eyeshadow, and also eyeshadow in multiple different colors. And today I'm actually using my Zoeva Spice of Life palette because I wanted to go for a warm but also sort of pink tone. So I'm going to be going for, I think, these two shades here and then a couple of these shimmers here. And that's basically going to be my eyeshadow look. And for eyeshadow, considering I use every single color of the rainbow, I thought I would talk about a book that just gives me color, in the sense that I used the wrong shade. This is the dark shade. Well, we're going to use the dark shade too then. That's okay. Let's go into the light shade now. I was saying I wanted to pick a book that sort of gives light to my life, and I also wanted to pick a book with a good representation. And one of those books that I read this year is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which is Girls of Storm and Shadow. I think I say that correctly. I mess it up every single time. Yeah, it is indeed Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nagan. I think this book is so incredibly rich in world building and character development, and just in general, every aspect of the book has something for someone. It also has a really good LGBTQ plus representation because our main protagonist is a lesbian, or she's bisexual, but I think she's a lesbian. I do have to say that I prefer the second book over the first book, but it's such a good series. So I am now gonna be putting you in a little time lapse of me doing my makeup and, well, doing my eyeshadow, and I will see you in a little bit.
The air in this room's getting thin. My patience for you is getting thinner. Don't care if you're lonely again. Just let me escape for a minute. I want space, build myself a spaceship. Your gravity, but I wanna be weightless. Suit up, I can't take this blast off. I'm over the moon, I'm loving this view, not thinking about you.
Okay, so it is now time to move on to eyeliner, and I'm using a new eyeliner, which is actually a replacement of the one that I just finished, and that is a Vivid Brights colored liquid liner in the color Vivid Red. I also have a blue, a green, and a purple for this, but I think red would fit my eye look best. And oh, I need to open it now. There's tape on here. One eternity later. It's still not open. Okay, so we got it. And moving on to the question for this. The question, considering it's an eyeliner and I make a wing, so I make it very sharp, I thought I would pick a book with characters with a sharp tongue. I thought that would be fun. Well, that's why I picked it. And for that one, I think I'm going to go with Kingsbane, which is the second book in the Imperium trilogy and the second book, or the sequel, to Furyborn. In this one, I can't speak and do eyeliner at the same time. I will speak to you guys once I'm done.
I'm cutting you loose in T-minus 2, not thinking about you. I'm over the
Okay, so the eyeliner is on, and for this one, I actually wanted to talk about Kingsbane. So Kingsbane is the continuation of Furyborn, which I've already mentioned, and in this one we follow two characters in different timelines. We follow Riel and we follow Eliana. And Eliana is in the present, Riel's in the past. Distant past. They are very, very far apart. I think couple of hundred years. And in this one, these two characters have their own timeline. There's one sort of sun queen, one good queen, one bad queen, and we kind of figure out along the line, well, I haven't figured it out yet because I'm not on book 3, but you have to figure out who's who. And with this one, I think that both of these characters are very strong-minded women. They also don't take anything from anyone, and they focus on what they believe in. They do what they think is right, and that's why I definitely think that they have a sharp mouth. Also, some conversations they've had, yeah, I think they're very strong-willed, strong-minded, and sharp-tongued females, and I love them for it. Then, moving on to the mascara, I actually wanted to do something with fluttering, because you flutter your eyelashes, and then I thought, talk about a book that makes your heart flutter. Because of it, I actually wanted to pick a book, not necessarily because of its sort of romance, but just something that makes me overall just so happy, something that I love to bits. And for that one, I actually picked The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. And the reason why I picked this one is because when reading this book, I just got all the happy emotions. I don't know why, but I got that all the time, and I was just so incredibly happy with how it was resolved, how the story went, but it was also so incredibly funny and well thought out that I think this definitely made my heart flutter. The characters, I love them, I have closed them in my heart, and I want them to be within my inner circle. And in general, I love them so much. Okay, so that is my eyes done. I have a couple of steps left, and let's continue on with blush. And I wanted, with this one, to talk about a book that made you blush. That's an obvious one, isn't it? And with this one, I actually went for Serpent and Dove, because, as you know, I've recently reread it. I couldn't say that to save my life. And I don't know, these characters they just belong together, and their conversations and their banter, and also the enemies to lovers, I don't know, I just love it. I'm one of those people. It just made me so happy to read it. I actually can't wait to read Blood and Honey, which I hope to be doing soon, probably next year, but still. And I don't know, I love them so much. I should stop adding blush now, she says as she continues, but I don't know, it was just such a good story, but also just these characters were so well done and so well written that I just loved them. So yeah, that is my answer for that question. So next up is highlighter, and I use the Mary Luminizer by The Balm, which I've hit pan on, as you can see. Also, by the way, something I wanted to say, that if you have any questions about what I put on my face, you can ask me down below, or on Twitter, or on Instagram, somewhere you want to, at least if you want to know something, just ask. And for highlighter, I thought the obvious, hey, that's me! The obvious one for this one would be to pick a book that makes me sparkle. And in that sense, I picked my favorite trilogy, and also the two books that I've read this year, and that is the Day of a Bad trilogy. I've read both the Kingdom of Copper and the Empire of Gold. I love both of them dearly. I think they are absolutely beautiful. They definitely make me sparkle, and they've changed my reading game. They've really changed it, and I don't know, I really loved it. And also, I don't know, it's just something that you should all read. I have said I don't know so many times in this video because I don't know how to explain myself well, apparently. But this trilogy is just everything that you want in a trilogy, and the characters, the world building, the magic system. I mean, I've said it in multiple videos already, but it is definitely my all-time favorite ever. Okay, that leaves one more step, which is No, I have 2 more steps. I actually forgot something. I forgot bronzer. So for bronzer, I actually had the question, pick a book that defined your reading this year. And for this one, I thought I would pick a book that was very influential for me this year, and that is The Poppy War. I think The Poppy War is such an incredibly important book to read, and I think that if you read it, you'll probably not have a fun time, but you will probably see how well written this book is. It's just, the characters are so well done, and also, speaking of magic systems, that magic system is nearly or as good as the one in the City of Brass, which I loved. So I think that you will definitely love that magic system as well, and that's why I picked The Poppy War for that one. Okay, now we are definitely on the final step, and that is a lipstick. For lipstick, I am using the NYX Lip Lingerie in Exotic. I think that would fit very, very nicely. And for lipstick, I think I know what the question was in the original tag, which was choose a book with your favorite kiss. I actually want to pick a book with my favorite romance, because I mean, it is smoochy, smoochy, kissy, kissy. So for that, I actually had some issues because there were so many books with which I really loved the characters and the relationships, but one that really stuck with me this year, which is weird because it wasn't one of my absolute favorite books. I loved it, don't get me wrong. I gave it 4 stars, but it was not a 5-star. But the relationship in this one is just right up my sleeve, and that is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. We follow our main protagonist who gets kidnapped by a rivalry clan, and there's fighting seasons, there's clans, and within her adventure in this rivalry clan, she meets people, and the relationship that sort of comes out of here and grows was just something that stuck with me. And I don't know why, because as I said already multiple times, I don't know, but it really got to me, and I think they are definitely one of my new favorite couples ever, and I now want to reread the book. So there's that, and yeah, that's my question and my answer for this one. Let me quickly put on the lipstick. And that is my lipstick done, and also the final question answered, which was Sky in the Deep. I love them so much. So that is my makeup look, at least for today, but I think this is definitely a contender for Christmas. I think it looks very glowy, very natural. No, it doesn't look natural. I do love it nonetheless. Let's put the ears on right. Ears back in, just for aesthetic purposes, and that is my makeup done. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I definitely want to do this again. I just love doing my makeup and talking to you guys. Some things are a little bit difficult, like lipstick and also eyeliner. I just can't do that at the same time, but considering I talk a lot and I'm also a big fan of makeup, I thought it was only fair to do a video like this again. And I, in general, hope that you have a lovely Christmas. This is going to be the final video of Christmas Countdown. Thank you guys so much for joining in with Christmas Countdown, but also December Dash. There's only a couple of videos left for me in the month. You'll probably see, I think, some reading vlogs, but that is about it. Thank you guys so much for all the love this year. I didn't have a great year, as you probably know, but I had so much love from all of you, and it means the world to me, so I wanted to thank you for that just before Christmas rolls around. Have a lovely Christmas. I hope you get all the books that you want. Well, maybe not all of them, but a couple of them. And I hope to see you guys the next one, and also next year. Bye guys!